Did I entice you by shitting on Bocchi in the title and thumbnail? Well, I clickbaited you because I'm actually not going to shit on them at all because I actually like Bocchi the Rock. But hey, welcome to the video. Please don't click off because I think I actually offer some good info. While I'm not just going to be saying this particular show is much better than Bocchi the Rock, um, I think there is comparison points. This isn't some like extremely just far reaching thing. Like I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh yeah, compare Bocchi the Rock and K-On because they're both girls forming bands and playing in concerts." Wow. The only comparison there is really the setting of it, honestly. There's so many different things that goes into a show. Comparing its ambiance level of it, I think is very shallow. But this show, I feel, is a more apples to apples comparison. We actually have a character, our main characters, Bocchi and then Tomori, from Bang Dream, It's MyGO, where it's both two characters that are extremely shy and have a general social ineptitude. I keep it vague because how they tackle their social ineptitude, what exactly it is actually much different, and how they tackle it is by far extremely different. But that makes you have an extremely like far comparison. And I think it's actually something a good thing to point out how each of it is done. But anyway, to Bang Dream It's My Go. I think it is by far one of the biggest sleepers of this season. Absolutely, you should go watch it. And I'll be explaining a lot of its good elements in this video. This is pretty much the free advertisement that I do not get paid for this show. You're welcome, Bang Dream, because I'm going to shit on you a little bit. If you were not thinking this is a good show just because Bang Dream is in the title, that's completely fair. the show, the Bang Dream series, is not that good because when it comes to its story writing, generally when it comes to conflict or any sort of depth to its characters, it's extremely weak, and that's an understatement. Like, so the character writing is like, "Ah, yes, this character's trope, she just says, like, Bushido a lot." That's the level of Bang Dream writing we have here. I know I'm going at, like, a very shallow pick there of just, like, trying to find the thinnest puddle in the Bang Dream series and go after it, but the rest of it, it ain't deeper than a fucking kiddie pool. But I will say, Bang Dream It's My Go was a complete surprise to, I think, everyone in the Bang Dream fandom, and especially a surprise to me. I was going in, I like the series, but I only really like it because it's a kind of brain dead watch. I don't have to think while watching it. And I was immediately just smacked in the face with this show because, like, oh my god, I actually have to think. This is actually a show with depth. And how it immediately diversifies itself from the rest of the series is by immediately starting with great conflict, which I think is probably the biggest weakness of Bang Dream, having almost little to no conflict with very trivial things going on. Yeah, I'll admit, a lot of it's stupid, but this one, amazing. Right off the bat, is just like, boom, band breaks up. 4 minutes in, band gone. And you're like, okay, how is this show going to start doing its, music band thing? And you look at the poster and you're like, some of these characters are not the characters showed in this broken up band. So you're immediately like, okay, some of them actually just completely dipped. They're like, nope, don't want to deal with this band anymore. I'm out of here. And then some of them somehow get back together, and we don't know anything about that. And you're like, okay, how is this all going to happen? Again, immediately setting up this really good mystery element, setting up really good drama and really good conflict. Right from the start in 4 minutes, I'm like, oh my god, okay, this is. Am I sure I'm watching the right show? Did I watch Bocchi the Rock season 2? What the fuck happened? I go in, completely surprised by it, and soon you will get to see certain the comparable elements between Bocchi and Bang Dream It's My Go. The biggest thing is those two main characters, Bocchi the Rock and Tomori. Both shy, socially inept, but I kept it as vague as socially inept because they do it in completely different ways. Bocchi is very much, it is anxiety based social issues. A lot of her things are like, what if people think of me this way? Big anxiety based fear. And a lot of it is drawn out through comedy. That's the big way they talk about it. They have this over exaggeration and over personification happening within the head of the character, which is a perfect way to do it because it isn't an over exaggeration because our heads kind of over exaggerate all the elements. So, in a way, it's kind of true to real life. But again, still comedic. They make it very funny, and that's how they kind of tackle the character. They never, I think, get super serious and in depth about it. I think they have a couple of like, oh, that's actually a very good moment. I think episode 6 is one that I really liked when she finally performs in front of a bunch of people. Is like, these people aren't viewing me as like an enemy or something. I think that is like a nice, sweet moment in the series. But usually it just tackles this through comedy. And never looks at it on a very serious level. You can extrapolate how this is social ineptitude is. And, you could say, oh, she may have this mental illness, probably anxiety based disorders and stuff. And that's there for you. And now let's move over to Tomori in It's My Go, who I think more just blatantly is like, all right, here's a character. The social ineptitude comes from just not being able to understand people. And while it doesn't say exactly, oh, this person has a mental disorder, I think it is quite heavily implied that. And a lot of people have said that she may be autistic. That may be one thing to her character. A lot of the discourse, especially after episode 3, which I think was a big hint towards all this, people really fell in line with it. And a lot of people said this from their own base experience. I can't comment on that myself. I'm not diagnosed with any mental disorder. So I can't comment from my own experience, nor could I be like, ah, yes, I am a psychologist. I'm highly researched. No, I've taken 2 college classes, all right? That doesn't qualify me on shit. But I do understand film writing a lot. And from how they've written the character, I think it's quite evident that this is what the writers are trying to imply about the character. Because they show a lot of these characteristics that she's having, and it's not made to develop her character of like, this is like a cute trait she does. There's moments like that, but a lot of the things, especially the stuff showed in episode 3, stuff from her like early childhood and stuff, it's really more to show something else. It's not something to add to the charm of her character. A lot of the characteristics she's displaying is meant to not fulfill that purpose, but show something else. And I think what it is trying to show is imply that she has mental disability, has a mental disorder. Don't know exactly which one, what exactly they're trying to imply, but I've seen a lot of the audience say probably autistic. And showing that representation, I think is really cool. I don't know exactly what it is. The writer hasn't just been like, boom, this is what it is, because that wouldn't really be a very nuanced thing to do with writing and be like, oh, yep, just diagnosed with this. Yep, that's how the character's written. No, it's nuanced. It makes you think about it, but it's definitely implied, and I think it's a very good showing of that character. Everything with the episode 3 that I've been quoting, just a fucking amazing moments. I'm really impressed by all the things that went down in just one episode. Like, I was just crying my eyes out when this character just constantly like writes little small blips of her feelings of like not fitting in, not feeling along, and this other character comes along, accidentally like reads the things and thinks they're lyrics to a song, and then when an actual song gets written and it's all about the good things that happen when they're starting to develop their band, it becomes this realization, oh, these things were not lyrics, they were just her thoughts. I'm like, oh, that's a very deep moment. What the fuck? And again, I think there's a lot of other great things going on in the show, not just this character, which I think, if I'm keeping to the title of like Bocchi is worse than this show, um, if we have, if complexity of characters is a requirement of making a show better, which it's truly not, uh, I would say Bang Dream has a lot of crazy characters that they've written. I think while the show is still going, so I can't comment on all of them. Not all of them are fully established, and I think only at certain points now are they hinting little characteristics of some of the other characters in the cast. One character that I think is more revealed in her characteristic than others is the pseudo main character Anon, who is this pink-haired girl who seemingly fits into the very stereotypical trope types of like the cute girls doing cute things genre, extremely peppy and optimistic. But these characteristics, while they are true to her, it isn't a complete deception. Um, she has this hidden side of trying to insert herself and being quite selfish in nature. In a way, she has herself. She's kind of the main leading force of a band coming back together, and she's forcing Tomori, who's like a pretty traumatized character from the breaking up of the original band. She's just trying to force this girl, like, bring a band back together after being like emotionally hurt. Uh, the pink haired girl is just like, she's being crazy. Pink haired girls, they're super highly optimistic or they're crazy bitches. And they're kind of both in this situation where she's kind of just going after her, just like, yep, make a band, please, just so she could kind of insert herself in, get into the social hierarchy, and generally lead the band, be the vocalist and stuff. And she is kind of just forced out of it. It becomes really interesting when all the other characters are like, nope, you're not the lead. Tomori's the lead. When they're rebuilding this band, it's like, nope, she's the leader, she's the vocalist, she makes the music. And to see how the character is just like, oh, and she's even like told off by one of the other characters, one of the hot-headed characters who's actually like really tightly close to Tomori after the events of the band breaking up. A lot of it is extremely complex and interesting. It's hard to explain every single little thing that's happening, but every episode has me extremely entertained. Things are wild. It's kind of like watching a small shitstorm of characters who don't really have it all together, but they're trying to do things quickly, and things are not really working out, and it feels like you're going to end up at the very start of the show with the band breaking up pretty much at every single episode. It's much different from everything else Bang Dream has done, and if you were scared off by the original name of the series, please don't. This is by far the exception, the weird rule breaker. I highly enjoy it. I highly suggest it to you. I think it's the number one sleeper. A very good, dramatic, depth filled series. Hope you guys give the show a chance. I think it is high quality. That being said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked and enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.